Is this guy supposed to be the ultimate badass?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's show of the Frisco Report, baby. What's up, Cowboys Corner? My co-host, can't do it without you, bro. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Joe? Just chilling of chills. All right. We're about a week and a half removed from this draft. Free agency, Cowboys deciding stupid things, stupid players, stupid plays. We'll see what happens.
It is what the Cowboys love to do this time of year. It's rumor mill time, bro. Jane Slater, the reporter of reporters, shot down the Najee Harris rumor. Mike, what did you think of that rumor initially? Were you down with it, or were you just like, nah, I'm not really into that?
Heard the rumor yesterday, a little late. I thought it was BS to begin with, bro, and then come to find out it was BS. A lot of these people like to just breaking news. You know, they don't like to just wait. You know, we like to wait, bro, not overreact. But you know, he would have been, you know, our only 1,000-yard receiver recently if if there was a trade somewhere, you know, down the road. So I mean, you can't hate it. If you hate it, you're hitting your head, or you're really pessimistic. But if the Cowboys pull something like that off, cool. I'm cool with it. But Najee Harris, Steelers are keeping him. They're not going to trade him.
Yeah, I think what they wanted a player-for-player trade. They wanted Najee for CeeDee Lamb. There's no way in hell that was ever going to happen. So, Steeler fans, sorry, but it ain't going to go down, bros. It ain't going to go down. Right.
They wanted Najee for Lamb?
Yeah, some of them were hoping for that. And even some of these rumor sites were hoping for that.
Dude, that's fan talk, bro. There's no way that even adds up to even be a good trade.
It makes no sense whatsoever. What I would have given for him would have been a 5th, maybe a 6th, probably, preferably. I just think he's an okay back. You know, he's not a game changer. He's not a, he's okay. I mean, the Steelers, they're rumored to wanting to get rid of him. They declined his 5th-year option, and the 5th-year option was only like $6 million. So that kind of says something there about the running back market and what they think of him. All right, so running back, degraded, getting paid low, getting paid cheap. So Cowboys, you know, they're kind of rolling with the same wave, you know. But Cowboy running back by committee, Mike. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I am. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people thought, because last year PFF had Tony Pollard since week 11 and on as the number 1 running back in the league. And that it took Tony Pollard 11 weeks to actually be himself. Rico Dowdle won't have that problem. Malik Davis won't have that problem. And Zeke won't have that problem. You know, can Nathaniel beat out Dowdle? Can he beat out Davis? Those are his 2 competitors. Deuce Vaughn isn't a competitor. Deuce Vaughn is a wasted roster spot, right? So he's a practice squad guy to me. So when I'm looking at the realistic 4 running backs here, it's Nathaniel Pete, the undrafted free agent, Dowdle, Davis. That's it, right? And Zeke. So I with the offensive line moves they made, Joe, I don't think running back by committee is going to be as bad as it was in 2018 when they try to do wide receiver by committee. Because wide receiver by committee with that type of quarterback just isn't going to work, you know. But this running back by committee with this offensive line, I think will work. I think season, as 1980 would say. I think it will work.
And that's what we call Spin City, baby. We talked about it during the draft, right? This is how they're going to spin it. We bolster the offensive line. You can almost put anybody back there, right? So, first off, you got to hope that Guyton is the real deal, right? You got to hope that Cooper Beebe with the short arms can indeed play center at a high level, and then go from there. If all those come true, maybe it can happen, baby. Maybe it can happen. Maybe you can get back there and have Zeke with 600 or 700 yards. Kind of what I'm predicting there. Pete, the speedster. I'm pulling for him, bro. We need that type of back here, you know.
No, for sure, dude. You know, he's a fast guy. Like I said, can he play special teams? That's gonna be his bread and butter. Can he play special teams, especially with this new kickoff rule? You know, how does he fit in that mold? You know, Malik Davis, seasoned special teams guy. They called him up from the practice squad a lot to play special teams only. You know, Rico Dowdle was your running back number 2. So, you know, Nathaniel Pete has to be able to learn special teams and be able to beat out Dowdle and Davis, because Zeke is already in the making for $3 million with $2 million of it guaranteed, plus the $6.5 million in dead money. Zeke better have at least 700 yards on this team.
Hey, dude. Zeke. You remember that? You ready for it? Can you imagine AT&T Stadium, the first game of the year, Zeke punching it in for the touchdown? Zeke. Dang, dude. Reminiscent. Right. I think a lot of fans are hanging on to a lot of the good old days, unfortunately, with Zeke. The fact is, you know, you do see the decline there. You know what I mean?
Every year.
But even with the revamping, you know, I think it'll be an uphill battle for him to get to 1,000. He'll perform well. Pass blocking, there's no doubt about that. I think really that's why they brought him in here, you know, teach these young guys how to do it at a high level. But, Mike, let's talk about this, all right? Where have we improved the most, all right? With free agency in the rearview mirror, all right? The draft in the rearview mirror. What position group has improved the most, in your opinion, Mike?
Easy answer is the offensive line, I think. You know, corner maybe, because you get Trayvon Diggs back, and they drafted Carson. You know, that was supposed to be a steal of steals. So I'd say O-line and corner possibly improved, possibly.
Okay, O-line. So O-line, I think that's a good one there. The position group to improve the most, definitely going to be the O-line, right? Because prior to the draft, you know, writing was on the wall. They needed a left tackle or a guard or some kind of combination. Did you really want to go into the season with Brock Hoffman? Not me. Not me. Good depth guy. TJ Bass, good depth guy. You know, maybe later they can become something, you know, if Zach retires or moves on or whatever. But for right now, it's Cooper Beebe time. Like, the mauler of maulers, man. This guy looks like the real deal. They have to get a look at him snapping the ball, you know, snapping the ball. Supposedly he did it in practice, but never in games. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles in the preseason training camp. But I think he can do it, Mike. I think Beebe can get the job done.
I think so too, Drew. I mean, you turn on the Kansas State tape, dude. When he's lining up that guard, he almost looks like he's a center, dude. Like it almost looked like, the quarterback's lined up in the wrong spot. His movement is going to be completely different because instead of offsetting to one side and pass it up he'd have to come straight up, pull and do different things. But I think the athleticism that he has with the hips, I think he'll be able to transition body-wise, athleticism-wise, to center. The problem, Joe, that we could run into is if he did it in practice, that's great. But how many times have he snapped it in practice at shotgun? When he was at Kansas State practicing, did he snap it just to a handoff, right, with the quarterback under center? Or was he snapping it to a shotgun quarterback, right? That can get a bit dicey, right? You want to have that trust in that center to be able to snap that ball directly to Trey Lance's or Dak Prescott's hand, whoever's going to be the quarterback, and go from there.
Trey Lance, man, it's going to be the season for him to step up, or the Cowboys got to go another direction, right? So with the O-line revamped, I'm hoping he gets a chance to showcase his skills behind the starters, which I think he will. Or will he? Mike, preseason time, will we see Dak at all, or do you think it's going to be just your backups getting on?
You'll see Dak a little bit in probably that third preseason game, but you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance, bro. Cowboys, Steven and Jerry they're going to want to see their 4th round pick investment, and you're going to be able to see Trey Lance's deep ball. You're going to be able to see his delivery. You're going to be able to see his command of the huddle. Hell, you might even see Trey Lance call some plays like how Dak Prescott did it in last year's Week 3 preseason game. So Dak will probably play Week 2. Trey Lance will play Week 1 and Week 3. But don't be surprised if Trey Lance is calling some plays. And a lot of people are concerned about those 31-inch arms that Cooper Beebe has. Travis Frederick's arms were 33 inches. It's just 2 inches. Do those 2 inches matters, Joe? I don't think it's going to be that big of a factor. One of the best centers' arms were 33 inches. Cooper Beebe's 31. We'll see how that translates. That's just a side note.
No, that's a good point. Does it matter? It'd be interesting if it does. 2 inches. But nevertheless, supposedly he did it in practice a lot. Those Kansas linemen were asked to practice all the positions, in practice. His teammates said that he was able to play center in practice. So I feel good about it, man. I feel good about it. Tyler Guyton, you like seeing him working out with Duke Manyweather? All right. So,
and it's an inch and a half difference, not exactly 2 inches.
Getting down to the nitty gritty there on the measurables, but it's good to know. It's good knowledge. You heard it here first. It's only an inch and a half. Is it really that much? All right. So I think it's probably a little bit overblown, like they said. So you put the running game behind this revamped offensive line. Reliability on that left side of the lineup. You don't have to worry about Tyron Smith, wanting to take a week off, a month off in big games, that kind of thing. So I think they're in good shape, man. That's the position group that has improved the most, the offensive line. I agree with you, Mike. Now, on the other side of the ball, where is the chink in the armor, Mike? Where did we not address enough resources? Where do you feel our weaknesses are at right now in the armor?
Someone said that we improved a linebacker, and I don't know if I can agree with that, Joe. I really don't know if I can agree with that. Kendricks, his health history has been stable, right? But he's long in the tooth, so you got to be very cautious, especially if he's going to be primary Mike. He's going to be taking a lot of bumps and a lot of bruises, right? We know Damone Clark kind of fell off last year. Really wasn't all that. Overshown coming off an ACL. We drafted Maurice out of Notre Dame, who I'm very high on with cover skills, Joe. But outside of Kendricks and outside of our linebacker that we drafted in the 3rd round, Joe, I don't know if I'm that excited at linebacker. I really just don't know if I'm that excited. I defensive tackle, yes, we drafted the big guy out of Auburn, but we lost Jonathan Hankins. We traded for Jonathan Hankins because our run defense wasn't really good, and Jonathan Hankins came in and made it a little bit better. Jonathan Hankins leaves, and you're going to try to tell me that this is a better D-line? No, I don't know if we solely replaced Hankins or not, dude. So I'm going to go with the front 7, Joe, here. I don't know if our defensive line, the interior of our line is good, and I don't know how good our linebacking core truly is, Joe.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Damone Clark, Overshown. Now, here's one thing that I did like last preseason. I think Damone Clark was able to play a lot better with Overshown. Once Overshown was gone, it's like Damone Clark returned back to a regular, almost like a street free agent.
I think you're thinking of Leighton Vander Esch.
No, it's Damone Clark, number 33.
No. Who left? Because Overshown got hurt in preseason.
Yeah, he got hurt in preseason, and he was never the same. He never looked good after that. Okay. So Damone Clark, he might get a resurgence there if Overshown is able to return to form. We've seen some of the videos. His recovery is coming along slow. I think there's some concern there if he's going to be on pop, or is he going to play? What do you think, Mike?
I think he'll play. He's going to look a little slow. It's probably going to take him a couple of preseason games. He ain't going to have that same burst that he once had, bro. That rookie burst's already gone, bro.
Yeah. So I think with Maurice Leofau, you get a guy in here who's a headhunter. He can sniff the ball out. He's a tackle for loss linebacker. So his instincts are pretty good. I like them. He's a bit of a throwback type of linebacker. Notre Dame, they coach up their linebackers really good. Coach Freeman, he's a defensive-minded coach. So these guys, they play hard for him, and you saw that on the field this year against top-notch guys. This guy was making plays on Caleb Bust Williams. You got to love that, bro. You got to love that. All over him. Mauling him. Forcing fumbles on Caleb Bust Williams. Clemson, Duke. He's a good linebacker. But, yeah, man, I think that I think you need one more there. But if Damone Clark can return to form when he was playing with Overshown in the preseason, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. For me, Mike, chink in the armor, defensive tackle. All right. I don't like what they did there. Almost like they really didn't do anything there. I mean, they threw Justin Rogers, draft pick there. They're hoping that Mozzie Smith can gain the weight and become, that Michigan Wolverine one tech. Osa, I think you've seen the best of him, but if anybody can get one more level from him, it'll be Mike Zimmer. Now, Mike Zimmer can't get that extra gear out of him. That's it. You don't re-sign that guy. All right. So defensive tackles, I think, still needed to be beefed up a little bit more, Mike.
Oh, I know. I agree, dude. Like I said, defensive tackle and linebacker, bro. Not really feeling that, bro. Not really feeling that at all, bro. Wide receiver too. I don't. I like. The question is, do you think Tolbert's a wasted roster? But I absolutely do. I 100% do. You got Jalen Brooks, who I'm very high on. Can't wait to see that untapped potential there with Jalen Brooks. Brandon Cooks. Did you see his hype video? Did you see that? You know, outside of CeeDee Lamb, dude, the only wide receiver that I truly trust right now is Jalen Brooks. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, and that's not saying much because we haven't seen a lot of Jalen Brooks either.
Yeah. No, it's a good question, Mike Barlona. It's a good question. Do you think Tolbert is a waste of a roster spot? I think that he gives you depth, but to pencil him in as your for sure number 3 wide receiver, you're not getting any production. I mean, look at his numbers last year, and the excuse is this: he didn't get opportunities. He was out there. Go look at the games, look at the snap counts. They were there. He just wasn't getting the ball. So either he's not running the routes, or he doesn't know the playbook still, or Dak doesn't trust him, or a combination of all of it. You know what I mean? So you got to get better there. And I think Jalen Brooks is a guy to keep an eye on. Mike, I agree with you on that. I think there's a guy that's kind of being overlooked. He could be that Miles Austin kind of guy. Comes out of nowhere, leapfrogs some of these other guys, other vets, comes out of nowhere. I also like the rookie that we drafted. I think he is already better than Jalen Brooks. I mean, out of Jalen Tolbert. So I'm looking for somebody to churn that number 3 wide receiver, and that's another position group that I'm kind of worried about. Hopefully, you do get Brandon Cooks hot off the gate, not 6 games and then he shows up. And bam, he can't go down. If he goes down, season's in big trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And it's the same tune that we sung last year. Those are the camp battles that I'm really looking for. Is the Jalen's versus Jalen, and I'm looking for Ryan Florney to come in here and compete because, like I said, he has that Michael Gallup type of play, and he's just faster. 4.34. Dude has height. He has speed. I like what he's going to be able to bring. So those are the 3 I'm really going to be watching to see who could battle that out. Turpin's already a lock because of the new special team still. So look for them to carry 6 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're gonna go deep. They're gonna go deep there, and I wonder, do you think they add another free agent?
Wide receiver?
Yeah, or trade?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because then you're not trusting what you're doing, right? You just drafted Ryan Florney, however you pronounce his last name. You got Jalen Tolbert, their 3rd-round pick. You got Jalen Brooks there that you kept on this roster all year. You don't trust your development if you don't trust that. So you got to trust Jalen Brooks. You got to trust Tolbert. You got to trust who you just drafted now on top of Turpin, on top of CD, and on top of Brooks, right? So if you can't trust that and you got to go give up a draft pick to go get a guy because you failed somewhere, it's not a good look for your front office and your scouting department at all.
Well, we've been critical of them. You know what I mean? We're one of the rare content creators that have been critical of the scouting department, Will McClay, the front office. You know what I mean? And you have to be. Oh, we draft great. 1st round, yeah. 2nd round, we know what they do. After that, you don't know. It could be a complete shit draft class. So I think McClay, he does good in the 1st round. I think he does really good there. But outside of that, it's not as great as it is, as they say. But they do have some steals. DeRon Bland. I mean, every draft class typically will have some sort of steal. But sometimes you get the rotten eggs, the rotten apples, the rotten eggs. I love what they did in the 2nd round this year, Mike. What did you think about our 2nd round pick?
Marshawn Nealon, all right. Edge rusher. Western Michigan, Joe. Michigan linemen. They got a bad rap here at the Dallas Cowboys. Mozzie Smith not looking like it's going to pan out. Taco. Now, I'm just talking about the state of Michigan in general. I get it. It's Western Michigan for Neyland. Don't come at me, all you smart scout gurus out there. All right. It's Michigan, the state of Michigan, what I'm talking about when I say Michigan. Can Neyland turn it around for the Dallas Cowboys? That's going to be the question when it comes to drafting Michigan State linemen, defensive linemen. All right, that's going to be the notch. But you, like I said, I see a little bit of Tank Lawrence. His NFL comparison to a lot of these guys on NFL Network and Draft Buzz and all that was Dorrance Armstrong. I don't see Dorrance Armstrong. I see Tank Lawrence. His run stopping ability is on a next level. It's right there with Lawrence. I really feel that way. He's not going to get you 10 sacks every year. He's probably going to get you 6. He's probably going to get you 7. 8, the most, is what Neyland's going to be able to get you. But the run stop, forget about it, bro.
Yeah. I think, man, hopefully Justin Rogers turns into something, man. You know, maybe he can be something for us. A Jay Ratliff type, you know, a Jason Hatcher type. You need the unsung hero, right? But the question is the fate of the season already been written, Mike? Like, is this indeed the last ride? All right. Is this Zeke and severance pay Dak Prescott the last ride? You know? Oh, here's a restructure, $5 million more. We're gonna bring your boy here and y'all the last ride. All right. Is it that, Mike, or is this team all in on Dak?
They're all in on seeing what Dak can do. We talked on the phone last night, and I said, you know why the Dallas Cowboys didn't restructure that deal or give it an extension? I said, Joe, because when you go 12-5 3 years in a row and you got nothing to show for it, what more can you give Dak? What more can you give this team to be able to excel in the playoffs? You go 12-5 3 years in a row and renew the outcome, Joe, before it even happened. It was first round exit. 49ers times 2, the youngest team in the National Football League, the third one, at AT&T Stadium, where you were 16-0. Mm-hmm. The all-in is we're all in on you proving us wrong. That's where they're all in. Can't prove us wrong, Dak. We're going to give you the bare minimum. The core pieces of the team still going to be intact, Dak. But we're not going to do shit for you in free agency. Good luck, because we gave you a Stephon Gilmore who wasn't half bad. Shut down A.J. Brown with them nasty stank Eagles, right? Call him old man. Shut him down. Where was he? Nowhere to be found. All right. You had number one. You had the number one takeaway in defense. You had this. You had that. Sure, the running game can be a problem, right? But when the Dallas Cowboys went into this offseason, we knew, Joe, they weren't going to do anything in free agency. Look at our track record. Look at our track record on the Frisco report. We don't tell you who they should sign as free agents. You know why? Because they don't dip into free agency. We know that. That's why we went straight into the draft and started knocking out draft players. Especially this year, Joe. We knew that they were going to sit on their hands with Dak Prescott. Go check my Twitter feed. Mm-hmm. The tweets don't lie. The tweets don't lie. I said they can't possibly restructure or sign this guy. Said it since January. They have to set Dak up to be a leader, and they can't baby him, Joe. They have to say, go win it. And if you can't, it's sayonara.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I agree. The writing's on the wall, man. I mean, 3 12-win seasons, not even a conference championship. In the past, a team that has done that has in fact made it to the championship game. So the Cowboys, first team to do that and not make a conference championship. That shit is just another slap in the face, right? Oh, can Dak play cornerback? Can he play linebacker, defensive tackle? It's excuses up the ass, bro. Left and right. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, man. I really think that's what it is. You know, they're gonna definitely get a look at Lance, and it's gonna be on them to really put in the work for a quarterback in 2025. You know, barring a Super Bowl miracle where Dak gets us to the championship game, Super Bowl, I think it's a wrap, bro. Honestly.
You know, you look at the NFC East, right? Like when fans say, "Oh, we're only winning 5 games. Oh, we're only winning 6 games." You look at the East, Joe. The Eagles have Kellen Moore. The Eagles have a quarterback that just led the league in interceptions. That just had the worst choke job that we've ever seen in probably NFL era. There was no team that went to a Super Bowl and choked at the end of the year like the Eagles did, right? That's going to carry over into this year. So, and we know who Kellen Moore is. They have Saquon Barkley, but that doesn't mean anything. What we're supposed to be scared of Saquon? You have a quarterback that can't throw the ball. The numbers don't lie, right? So I'm not scared of the Eagles. We might split with them. It is what it is. The Commanders ain't any better. The Giants ain't any better, right? Cowboys' core pieces are well enough to still get double-digit wins here and still go to the playoffs. But it's up to Dak to get these guys motivated. We can't have CeeDee Lamb shaking his head with Mike McCarthy on the sideline. Someone needs to get that and shake them, right? So we need this team to be mentally ready to go because they have the capability to win 10-plus games. They just do.
Yeah, they do. CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, it seems like they're out on that. All right. They're just not going to come out and publicly say it. Their families are kind of speaking on their behalf. You know how families are, bro. You go home, you talk to your family about work, right? For their family members to come out at the end of the game and tweet and all this what they did, those conversations are happening, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Quarterback. No, not really. Lamb is working out privately right now. There is no Lamb at the Dak yard. Lamb's working on his own, trying to get that cheddar. All right, well deserved.
Well deserved.
Who will be the first guy to get a contract extension? Let's talk about that. Will it be CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, or Trey Lance?
So it's gonna be CeeDee Lamb. All right. What is it? May? In 2 months, CeeDee Lamb, breaking news. Extension by the Cowboys. He's gonna show up to camp. Micah Parsons will be next year. Trey Lance will be in March next year. And Dak Prescott will be with the Raiders next year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that Dak Prescott's going on that Kirk Cousins trajectory. You know?
And then one more thing. Oh, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. It's $22 million. You can sign Trey Lance for 2 years, $22 million next year. You can sign him for the same money with an additional year. Stop the cap.
Yeah. Who got an extension, man? If he holds up, physically, if he can show he can be durable, if he can show out in the preseason. You got to go watch his games for San Francisco. He can sling that ball. He can throw, he can throw that ball in tight windows. He's athletic. I'm actually excited to see what he can do for us in the preseason. I think he'll get plenty of opportunities. And talk about the pass catchers. We got good tight ends, really good tight ends. He's going to have the opportunity to get the ball over to Ferguson. Brevin Spanford. John Stevens Jr. Right. A lot of pass catchers there, and obviously Schoonmaker, but a lot of big catch radius. Lance, pretty accurate. I think he's going to have a hell of a showing, bro.
For sure, dude. I think Nathan Thomas, dude. I think that's going to be your swing guy. But he is going to play a lot of guard, backing up. But I as much as they went with O-line here, Joe, I'm glad we're getting rid of the roster trash, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Josh Ball.
Yes.
We finally get rid of these guys and get new faces in here, new talent. You got Hoffman, you got TJ Bass, you got Nathan Thomas, you got, Cooper Beebe. You got some young, fresh guys in here. We finally got rid of, we're getting rid of some roster garbage. And that's good. That's good for your team.
No, it's really good. It's a good question here by Alexander Silver. What do you think about Nathan Thomas playing guard? He gives you that flex, but I do like his size there at a tackle. I think if you get in trouble there with Terrence Steele, or if he takes a step back again, you take a look at him. If something happens to one of your guards, maybe you take a look at Nathan Thomas, guard. He's the Cowboys got physical on the offensive line. And that was their bread and butter 2016, 2014, especially 2014. 2014 was the peak of the Great Wall 2.0. All right. That was it. All right. 2016, after that, it started going down. So if they get it back to that 2014 level, DeMarco Murray running all over the place, you could have a running back in here that could put up some good numbers, and put you in the playoffs. So good offensive line play. You need it. Cowboys knew they needed to upgrade this offensive line, double dipping, and they did it, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. No, they got a Philly fan in here. He asked a question. He said, question, since Dak was drafted 8 years ago, which franchise has had the most success? And he thinks we won't answer. The Kansas City Chiefs have had the most success. Hands down. That's who it is. He thinks that's just who it is.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs, bro. The Chiefs, they had the balls to make the trade. They went from 20-something to 10 with the Bills, and they got their quarterback,
Yeah.
Sometimes if you believe in the quarterback, you got to make that move, And if it's a failure, it's a failure. You do it again, until you get it right. But to keep doing what the Cowboys are doing, it hasn't been a recipe for success, and it won't be. 1989, bro, was the last time they used a first-round pick on a quarterback.
That's crazy, bro. Cowboys going to step that up.
This is pre-cell phones. This is VHS. This is pre-DVD. This is pre-internet. I mean, come on, Dallas. What the fuck, man?
They better start stepping it up, dude. They better start stepping it up.
They got to, bro. They really do. So, the question of the day, Mike. The question of the day is this: with what the Cowboys have done so far in the offseason, with the schedule coming out, what is your really early estimation on how many wins this team gets?
I'll say 11-6. I'll say that 11-6 because Cowboys, they have a hard time beating sub 500 teams, right? And we're going to have a lot of them this year. They're going to be able to squeak some out. They're going to be able to squeak a lot of NFC East wins out. And we got Mike McCarthy here. Mike McCarthy, when Dak got hurt in 2020, that's his only losing season, all right? And Dak Prescott, career-wise, hasn't had a losing season. So, when you look at that and you combine that, there's no way this team only wins 8, 9 games. They're going to be at that 10, 11, 12 mark again, 12-5 possibly again. And they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm going to go with I'm going 9 to 10 games. You know, I think that they've put so much into those 3 12-win seasons that you're going to have a down season. And I think with everything on a prove it year, on a lame duck year, I just think it's a recipe for, barely squeaking in or having an average season, So for me, just based on what I've seen as far as our opponents, our first round schedule, running back by committee, I don't feel comfortable about it. 9 to 10 wins, I think, for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. How many wins do you think the Cowboys are going to get based on what they've done, based on who doesn't have a deal in place for 2025, and your opponents, your first place schedule? How many wins are we going to have? Put them in the comments, the chat box. Let me know how many wins we're going to have for the season. I'm interested to see those. Let's see what we got here. How many wins? Let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the comments. We're winning 8 games. Okay. WWE guy. We're winning 8 games. Okay. Asian Persuasion. Jeb. Should I be happy with 10 wins? I have them going 9 and 8. Okay. Yep. 8 or 9. Aztec Aguilar, 10 wins. Okay. Yep. 0 expectations. Yep. Yeah. Did they do enough to excite you for the upcoming season, Mike? Did this draft or offseason do anything where you're like, yeah, man, we're going to get it?
It's Cooper Beebe. That was it. That was the only pick that I was like, hell yeah. Now we're cooking with some oil here. But now, them not doing anything in free agency, not a surprise. Them,
yeah.
They're Tyler Guyton was their guy from the beginning. So they still got their guy, got that early third. I think getting Cooper Beebe with that early third that we stole from the Lions, bro, was the best move all year for the offseason. That was the best move right there.
I agree, man. I think that was the steal. They overpaid, and to come away with Cooper Beebe to still be there, yeah, that was the highlight of the draft for me as well.
Dude, we talked about it behind the scenes because we knew the Cowboys were going to move back. And you were like, bro, what about a third? And I kept saying, dude, there's no way they can get a third here. It's too much. That's so like every time that we did our mock drafts and we traded, bro, we always did a fourth because that third, and it wasn't just a third round, bro. It was an early third round pick, bro. So that was not on the draft conversation of ours. And for them to pull that off, it was amazing. The heist of the decade.
It really was. Rumors were that Jimmy was in the war room. I didn't see him. I think it was Tony Casillas BSing us, but it did seem a little bit of a heist there. I think we definitely ripped them off, and we got a guy who can potentially be here 10 to 14 years. So yeah, man, I'm with you. That's the highlight there.
Cowboys waited. They had 40 seconds left on the clock when the Lions picked up that phone. So So I'm in sales, dude. Silence. Them sitting there while that clock is ticking all the way down to 40 seconds. Silence is the best negotiation tactic you can use. You just sit there and be quiet and let somebody spill their own beans. If they want it, they want it. They're going to buy it. So silence was the best negotiation skill in that moment, Joe.
And then the funny thing about it is they got the better cornerback. You know, the Eagles, they can't draft cornerbacks, and they did it again. So I love that. Give it a year or two, and they'll be going at free agency to replace their draft pick. They don't know how to draft cornerbacks. So I love what they did, and I love what Detroit gave us. You know what I mean? It was the best part of the draft, man. Watching what the Eagles did, watching what Detroit gave us, and what we did with the pick. It was beautiful. It was a trifecta, you know?
No, 100%, dude. It was really good. You know, maybe Jimmy was in the room where we couldn't see him because, you know, Jimmy don't like the big spotlight. You know, he's a little older now. You know, he works for, what is it, Fox? So, you know, he wants to, you know, avoid all the questions and interviews. What was it like in the war room with Jerry again? You know, he wants to avoid all that. Because you've seen what happens when he said, "Oh, I'm on the advisory board." Dude, that blew up. Dude, that hit people in Africa that don't have any cell phone reception, bro. That's how fast that news spreaded, bro. And so, you know, he don't like that spotlight no more that he's older, bro.
I love it. That's good stuff, Mike. Yeah, man. So we are on the off-season schedule. All right. Mike and I will be on the schedule here in the coming weeks where, you know, we come on maybe every other week. We'll even go on vacation at some point. Take a few weeks off, barring breaking news. But right now, you know, we'll get through rookie mini camp, we'll get through vet camp, and then that's when they break, right? And that's when we'll hold our breath and hopefully nobody makes any knucklehead moves.
Dude, the Chiefs are feeling it right now, dude. They got a knucklehead wide receiver doing some stupid stuff over there.
Oh yeah, that Rasheed Rice he's a disaster. He's a disaster, bro. But Mike, I think that's a wrap for tonight. A great show as usual. Great chat in the chat box. Can't do this without you guys. Pound that like button on your way out or on the replay. We do appreciate you. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. This Sunday, I'm going to be part of a conversation with Chris on the Cowboy Up podcast. Make sure you follow them. This is if you want to get to know who Cowboys Corner is outside of YouTube. A conversation with Chris is going to kind of bring that out. So Sunday at 3 p.m. I know it's Mother's Day. Treat your wives, treat your moms to the finest. But if you have time to come in on Sunday and listen to Dallas Cowboy Up podcast, a conversation with Chris. I'm going to share the link in my community tab. So click the notification bell so you get that community tab notification and go in there on Sunday and know who Cowboys Corner is if you want to know outside of YouTube. It's going to be a really good interview, and I'm really excited for it. So peep game that.
Great stuff indeed. Great stuff indeed. Go support my boy Cowboys Corner. Guys, thank you again. Thank you for riding with us this off season, this draft cycle. And we'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.